Once upon a time, not long ago, two brothers were out on the town. After an evening of fun, they got hungry. We have all been there and know exactly what they were feeling. We find ourselves scrambling to find comfort food in a late night quest to fill our tummies and stop the hunger pangs. Our two brothers found themselves at a corner taqueria. 8 to 10 double tortilla tacos later, their hunger pangs were satisfied, but they found themselves experiencing post-taco guilt. They say imagination is the heart of all innovation, and that's exactly how our two brothers came up with the idea to create a low-carb taco tortilla. After years of development, they created Mr. Tortilla, the world's first one-carb, 15-calorie taco tortilla. In this podcaster's opinion, a monument should be built to honor these two brothers for successfully perfecting a delicious taco tortilla. Thanks to them, we can now all enjoy tacos without guilt.
Welcome to the Latino Business Report. This podcast covers business, people, and issues of the day from a Latino perspective. The Latino Business Report is brought to you by TAMAC, the Texas Association of Mexican-American Chambers of Commerce. TAMAC is the leading Hispanic business organization in Texas since 1975. Now for your host, J.R. Gonzalez.
They say man cannot live by bread alone. Pero ¿sabes qué? That's why we have tortillas. And today's guest is the owner, one of the owners of Mr. Tortilla. Anthony, how you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Saludos a toda mi gente. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Alcazar, and you and your brother Roland actually own Mr. Tortilla.
Yeah, me and my brother Ron. Goes by Ronald.
Okay, Ronald.
Yep.
Perdón.
No, don't worry. Everyone. Even when you get articles done, his name is always mispronounced. So don't worry about it.
He's your little brother. Just let it slide, okay? Well, okay, we'll let it slide. Okay, but Ronald, okay. So, gosh, first of all, thank you for being on the podcast. I've been looking forward to this episode. Mr. Tortilla, and at first I heard Mr. Tortilla. Are you guys serious? I mean, this is like legit. Then I did a little research, and you guys have an amazing company. I mean, tell us a little bit about how you got started or why you even started. How did you get into the tortilla industry?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Blessed to be here. So we kind of coming here by accident. One late night, my brother and I decided to go get some tacos. In Los Angeles, every quarter has pop-up taco shops. So one late night, we got some tacos, and after feeling guilty and bloated, after eating like 10 tacos, 8 tacos, you get the taco guilt. Like, oh my gosh, I ate so much.
Eight or 10 tacos a piece?
8 or 10 tacos a piece, right? Double tortilla, right? Normally you start off with 4, but then when you refill, and then if I do a couple more, you end up with 8 or 10. But
got it.
I was feeling that taco guilt. I think a lot of people do when they go late night and get some tacos. Which are delicious, by the way, right? So, an idea came to me. Really, if you really think about it, what makes tacos unhealthy? Because it's not the veggies or the protein. It's the tortillas because they're high in carbs and calories, right? They're delicious, but they're high in carbs and calories. So we can make a delicious tortilla that was low in carbs and low in calories. That would be a game changer. That's when the idea of Mr. Tortilla was created and started.
All right. Now, conceptually, I understand what you're saying, but a tortilla, I mean, come on, that's a basic. I mean, that's a staple for I know it's a staple for me. I mean, I have to have my tortillas. I have my tortillas de harina. I got my corn tortillas. I'll get my corn tortillas. I'll make migas. I'll do something, put in carnitas in there. My flour tortillas, I love them. So what you've done is you've gotten, you're attacking a very, not attacking, you're impeding on something that I cherish a lot, is good tortillas. So I have to admit, I wasn't sure. I was a little skeptical, but I ordered some of your tortillas online and tried them, and they're not bad. Anthony, they're actually pretty good.
They're delicious. They're one net carb, 15 calories, right? And that's a game changer because you can have 20 of my tacos, right, with the one net carb tortilla, or you can have just one regular taco with double corn tortilla.
Wow!
And that's
so
the amount of carb
like a 20-to-1 ratio.
Like a 20-to-1 ratio. But not only that our tortillas are high in fiber, no sugar, no cholesterol. and are healthier. So essentially, diabetics can enjoy them. Anyone on a low carb, a low calorie diet, and you get full faster because of the protein.
Oh, man. I mean, actually, a corn tortilla, I mean, it has better, more nutrition than a slice of white bread. I mean, obviously. So these tortillas that you're making are even better than a corn tortilla.
I mean, look, I would never say better than a corn tortilla because people love corn. I love corn tortillas, right? But it's an alternative to wanting to eat healthy. If you think about it, really what we're doing is we're making tacos healthier for everyone and different dishes healthier for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're on a diet, you still want your chilaquiles, your tacos, your burritos, your quesadillas, your enchiladas, and to not be able to have them, I feel is very difficult, right? And nothing on the market is good, right? Really. And so our tortillas are delicious, and that's why we have that money back 100% guarantee. If you don't like our tortillas, I want you still to love the Mr. Tortilla brand.
Wait a minute. You have a money back guarantee?
Oh, money back guarantee, 100%.
I didn't see that. So if I send you back the empty package, can I get my money back?
Not on the empty package, but definitely if you're not happy with our product, we'll definitely refund you. And we want to make sure that you're happy.
Wow, so that's how much you believe in your product, with money back guarantee.
Absolutely. Not only the product, but the brand, right? I want, even when people say, you know what, I didn't. It's very few. I would say, thank God, over 99% of the people love our product. But there are a few people that don't like it, or they don't, they're so used to the corn tortilla. It's hard for them. And those are the people we say, look, money back guaranteed, because we want them to still love the brand, right? So this brand just stands behind what they do. And it might not be that product, but we have 2 net carb tortillas. We have keto chips now. We have keto crunchy chips, 3 net carbs, nothing like it on the planet.
I tried some of those. I tried some of those keto chips. I have to look when I get your products. I have to not read the label of how healthy it is. Okay, if I do that, then I'll get the psychological stuff that I may not like it. But I tried your chips. I've tried your tortillas, and I enjoyed them. I really have to admit I enjoyed them. Now I have not had a chance to try your low carb pancake mix, your low carb brownie mix, or your low carb chocolate chip cookies. I'm looking forward to that, but when I do it, I'm going to tell myself, okay, JR, it's a regular cookie. Try not to think about it. But I've been really impressed with the product that you've done, the quality, the taste, and it's new to me. But my brother, my younger brother, is your younger brother, who I'm sorry couldn't make the podcast, but you told me he's on the factory floor right now trying to keep things going.
So not only does he help with the digital marketing and all the e-commerce side, but he also is the operations guy. So whenever there's installations or new machinery or anything, he's the guy that has to be there. And so it was the last second thing.
No, I fully understand. I'm just happy to be able to get you on this, because we've been trying to schedule this for a while. But my little brother, he's been actually eating your products for years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Whenever we hear that people have known of the brand and it feels special. And do you mind? Can I tell you how the Mr. Tortilla name came about?
I was about to ask that in a minute, because it definitely describes what it is, a tortilla. But Mr. Tortilla just kind of struck me as an unusual branding, but it works. How did you come up with the name?
Thank you. So we wanted to have a tortilla company, right? I told you we had an idea, but then we had a placeholder name, LA Tortilla, right? Los Angeles Tortilla. And so I remember my brother, my mother, my father went out to Santa Barbara one weekend, and they at that time they had the company card, the LA Tortilla, right? And so when they were checking into the hotel, it was there's a wait, so everyone kind of left their card and they would get called. And so I guess when they called my dad, they were like, Mr. Tortilla, right? And then he goes, oh, I guess that's me, right? So when they tell me the story, I'm like, yo, hold on a second. That's the name right there. Can you please look it up? Is it taken? And it was available. And we felt that God sent us that name, because everyone can't believe that, hey, how did you guys get that name? Mr. Tortilla, right? And I was just blessed that it was available.
Well, it's kind of like this podcast, the Latino Business Report. I just came up with and said, I'm surely somebody has this name already. And there you go. It was available. So we jumped all over it. So Mr. Tortilla was kind of a mistake. Somebody was calling you or paging you and didn't get the LA Tortilla thing down.
Paging my dad, yeah.
Paging your dad.
To check in. And when they told me the story, I just knew that name felt right.
So, and this is a family business. It's you and your brother, and you mentioned your dad. Does your dad work in the industry as well?
So me and my brother started the company, but when we needed someone to guide us, someone that was familiar with the food manufacturing part of the business. And so we thought, oh, who else than my father? So we asked him to come on board and help us and guide us. So he's been amazing. He's helped us out a lot, and he's taught us a lot about manufacturing, food manufacturing, and it's not easy, the food manufacturing parts. At first we didn't want to really have to be involved in the food manufacturing part of it. We thought we could use co-packers, but this industry is very competitive, and so we ended up having to start our own factory, and having the manufacturing side background taught to us was huge.
Okay, so you and your brother, or what did you do before you started the company, and what did your brother do?
Well, my brother was graduating from college. That's when I approached him to, you should start our own company, right?
So you guys were young when you started this thing.
Oh yeah, it was over 10 years ago. I mean, I was in my 20s. I forgot what that felt like. But we started young.
You were both in your 20s, right?
Yes. It was both in the 20s. I've always been, marketing, business consulting, and when we started Mr. Tortilla, though, we had to learn this industry, and it's been 10 long years. We've been through a lot. So when people now see the success of being number one on Amazon, US, Canada, the UK, growing exponentially, 3,000% in 2021. We're blessed and thankful to God for it. But there's like 10 years, prior that was, it was very difficult. A lot of like dark times, a lot of struggles, right, to get here.
Well, look, Anthony, let me ask you this. I mean, when they said, number one seller on Amazon, I go, what's how many tortillas do they sell on Amazon? I looked it up, and there's quite a few. So very impressive that you're number one. But why aren't you in like grocery stores and in different places? I mean, isn't that the traditional way to sell your products?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought too. So when we started, my brother and I were so naive because we thought, like many small businesses, right? What do you think of? Okay, look, if I make a good product and people like it, I get into the supermarkets and people buy it, and
sure,
that's it.
Makes sense.
But we didn't know that, especially like in many industries, especially in our industry, that the giants exist, and the giants don't want you on the shelves. They pay for the shelf space, so they don't want competition, and it's very difficult to get in. I mean, we could not get on the shelves. It took years and years and years to get on shelves, and when you finally do, you get in at the bottom. And as a new brand, how can you compete that way, right? So it's just not fair competition, and that's why we're not in supermarkets, and we're not. But now we're going into supermarkets, which is beautiful because thanks to the success on e-commerce and becoming, the number one brand on Amazon, tortilla brand on Amazon, we've had a lot of interest of different supermarkets. And honestly, when you told me you guys are out of Texas, I was so excited to come in and do this podcast because Texas has been amazing to us. It's one of the top 3 states that orders our products, and we would love to be in HEB and all over Texas to have our product consumed.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that after the podcast. But as you're looking at, so difficult getting on shelves, and in one of our pre-podcast conversations, you were telling me that even in the pandemic, when the shelves were empty, you could not even get your products on the shelves then.
Yeah, so I'll touch that right now, JR. So when we couldn't get on the shelves for all these years, right? We said, okay, we got to pivot because we're going to go out of business this way, right? So we're in supermarkets and no one is seeing us. We're at the bottom. This is not working for us. So let's get a major account. Mm-hmm. So we switch over to get a military account. It takes years and years of visiting bases. I just want you to imagine this, right?
Yeah.
Small company, you're not making any money, right? Me and my brother didn't pay ourselves for 8 years.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What did you do? Live off tortillas and just
live off tortillas, and our significant others, right? Our wives, and so you're just using our own savings to go across visiting Army base for years, right?
Right.
Finally getting an approval, finally getting this account to a distributor, right? After the unsuccessful intent to get into the stores. So now we're finally got a military account through a distributor. And now, we're finally growing. We can finally pay the bills, finally seeing a little growth. Oh my, things are going.
Get
okay,
breathing room
right?
to grow.
Breathing room, right? And guess what happens? Well, it turns out that those same big guys don't like competition, right? And they pay the distributor millions of dollars in rebates every year. And so they don't like when you guys come. They don't like when you guys are growing. So from one day to the next, boom, the account was, taken away. And so now again, we have to pivot. All those years, we're about to go out of business again. What do? Let's pivot. Now let's sell to restaurants. So now we're selling to restaurants, right?
Okay.
The pandemic hits. Picture that. All the restaurants are going out of business. We're about to go out of business. And, I think to myself, well, there are empty shelves in the supermarket right now. It's empty, right? We have tortillas. Even during the pandemic, when there were empty shelves, they would not allow us to put our product in the supermarkets. That's how competitive it is. Okay, so
you had product, you had food, shelves were empty, and you still couldn't get in.
Yes. Wow. And so, guess what happens? Well, we're about to go out of business. I'm like, I tell my brother, I don't know, what are we gonna do? And he goes, Anthony, we should sell tortillas on the internet. Let's go to Amazon, because on Amazon, the consumer chooses who's number one. On Amazon, I buy on Amazon.
And this is Ronald telling you this.
This is Ron, and I look at him and dead in the face, and I'm like, "Will you get serious? Come on, man! Tortillas on the internet." We would have to create a new business model that's not existent. We're selling tortillas on the internet. Learn social media and digital marketing on the fly, and pray. And that's exactly what we did, right? And he was right. Amazon is amazing. On Amazon, the consumer chooses who's number one, and it's the only. I believe it's the only fair place that you can compete as a small business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, so how else can I compete? I'm living proof. The American dream, like competing. How could you on the shelf? It's only possible through Amazon, right? And we grew 3,000%, right, in 2021. Number one.
Whoa. You grew how much?
3,000% in 2021.
In 2021, your company grew 3,000%.
Yes.
And
so
a lot
can you
of
imagine?
My gosh.
So
Ramping up for that.
Yeah, and this is the interesting part. We grew without capital, right? Without access to capital, right? And it was very, very, very difficult, right? But we did it, And so going into that, right? Just blessed, thankful to God for giving us the tools to be able to compete and finally get our brand out there. So we have a philosophy, Jared. So we feel whatever God has for us in the Mr. Tortilla brand, it's for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever God has for other companies, other tortilla companies, it's for them. We're not trying to compete with them. I don't look at what they're doing. We're in our own lane, and all we're trying to do is provide a healthier product that's delicious, right, and grow our consumer base. And so, but thanks to the success of the internet, thanks to the success of Amazon, and Amazon, honestly, we've worked with other big box retailers, but nobody has done what Amazon has done for us. They like helping small businesses. I mean, thanks to them, we could export to Canada. We're number one in Canada. Thanks to them, we're number one in the UK. Thanks to them, we're selling in Germany as of last week, and things are picking up. Australia, United Arab Emirates. I mean, it's just growing.
Are they putting Wiener Schnitzel in your tortillas?
I don't
with sauerkraut or what?
Yes, but the thing is, I feel that Mexican food is just growing in general, right? I mean, the industry grows. It's a very lucrative industry. It's $1 billion industry, and I think that's why it's so I would say monopolized, right? But it's growing all over the world, and people just want a healthier option, and that's where we come into play.
Well, let me ask you this, Anthony. You brought up a point. For years and years, you were working. You were going without a pay. You guys were going without paychecks for 8 years. I mean, that's a long time. I'm sure there was times with your spouses and just quit, find a job, do something else. This isn't working. I mean, what kept you going? That's a long time to be dedicated to an idea that you weren't sure that was going to work. And with not having access to capital, and look, for all minority, especially Latino-owned businesses, access to capital is a huge deterrent from growth. But we'll that's for another episode. But what
JR,
kept you going? What kept you going?
I didn't, before I would have argued with you, right? I don't think so. But having lived it, a company my size now that's growing and that's profitable, I still have problems getting a fair valuation from venture capitalists. I still have a fair time accessing fair capital, right?
Wow.
And it's just incredible. Yeah. But going back to to what you're asking, thank God for our spouses that gave us strength and during those tough times. There were multiple times that we wanted to give up. There were multiple times that we were going to go out of business, but the faith kept us strong, and the faith that God put a dream in our heart. God, told me, hey, He made me feel, you know what, Mr. Tortilla is going to be big. You're going to be known, and that's what the dream. Even though we can see it and it looked impossible, which it kind of is if you think about it. It's a miracle that we're here, and that's why very thankful to God. And when I say pray, when we went into e-commerce, we prayed. I mean, we did our homework, learned digital marketing on the fly, social media. But really, it was the prayer that please help us. And that
put a lot into your faith there. It's part of the business model. It sounds like.
Yep. I mean, 10% of our net profits are allocated to charities. 10% profit sharing for the employees. We hire adults with special needs, and it's definitely in our DNA, right? But that's during all those tough times that we wanted to give up. We weren't sure, what would happen. Just not giving up. It was so crucial, right? And to everyone out there struggling, I just don't give up. Just because that's where the end happens when you give up. You just
because this became
keep fighting, And me and my brother would pick up. Sometimes it was him, sometimes it was me. But then at the end of the day, my father is the one who instilled that in us growing up. I mean, he would make us listen to Winston Churchill's speech: "Never give up." Right? Keep going. So because of that, you just never gave up and kept going, hoping for a miracle. I mean, and a miracle came, right? And now we're growing, and we're in this space that now all the retailers that we couldn't get into before because of the success that we're having, and because the way our product moves and sells, and they want our product, right? And so it's just
now they want you, huh?
Yeah, now they're with this. Now they want our product, but there's nothing I would love more than to get into all the supermarkets we could. I mean, I would love to be in HEB. Why? Because we've gotten so many emails from people in Texas that say, hey, I can't. I don't want to pay for shipping. Right? Why aren't you guys on the supermarkets? Why don't you guys? And we tell them, like, we would love. There's nothing we would love more than to be on the supermarkets for all you guys, but. This is our story, and this is why we're not, and this is why we had to go to e-commerce, right? And so, we God willing, in the near future.
All right. So, as you're looking at that, you have about 80 employees right now.
Yeah, about 80 employees.
Okay. We're going to pause here just for a second. A train is going by.
No worries.
We'll edit this out. Hang on. Do you hear it on your end or not?
Yeah, I'm good on my end.
Do you hear the train on your end?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. I think you said 80 employees. All right, you have 80 employees, and I think that's great. You do profit sharing with your employees. You give 10% of your profits to charities, nonprofit organizations. I mean, that's very kind of you. You don't have to do that. I mean, you're a private sector business. You've worked hard for the money, but yet you share it, which I think is great that you do that. So in the growth of Mr. Tortilla, you want to get into retail stores. You want to get into grocery stores. What is near future? I mean, what does it look like in your strategy or your plan for growth? Because I mean, you can keep growing on the internet, and you're doing a great job there. But where else do you want to be?
Oh, we want to be all over the place. I mean, we have these chips that are just so delicious, so amazing. I mean, the 3 net carbs, and I believe they should be in every sandwich shop, every supermarket, liquor store, corner market. We're just really expanding right now. We're just currently right now. Our only limitation to really more growth is capital, right? Because we can't sustain this growth without the capital, new machinery, more improving the output, and it's just so necessary for growth. It's just to get to this level, it's been miraculous, right? But now, moving forward, it just, we just need, the capital plus. We want to grow our team, bring in more people. My brother and I are tired of working 120 hours a week.
That's very selfish of you. Why not? Do it, man. Do it. No, I know what you mean. That's a lot. Putting in the type of hours that you have to, and you've been sustaining that level for, I'm sure, years now. You kind of need a break. You need to get some other people in there, but at the same time, Anthony, let me ask you this: do you trust other people to be on that production floor?
You know what? Thank God we have an amazing team. We have an amazing team, and just finding great people to keep joining our team and keep this growth. Right? We have great team chemistry here. Here at this company, everyone is. And that's important for us to have a place where people want to go to work, where people are happy, people treat each other with respect, and it's a good working environment. Because I would hate to have a place. I've had in the past, I've had a job that I dreaded to go to work. I hated to go to work because of the people, because of the environment, and that's the last thing I wanted here, especially at Tortilla. I want something where people love to come to work, right? And we've done a great job doing that, and with growth. And we can hire another 120, 240 people with the right capital, right? Relatively fast, just because of the growth and how much we're growing.
Do you have a hard time keeping up with the demand right now?
Yeah, I have a hard time keeping up with the demand right now. But we've made the necessary adjustments to keep up with the demand, right? And right now, but all in all, without the capital, it's just difficult. I have to buy boxes, bags, and larger inventory, more raw materials, right? Can't keep inventory,
and
right?
With the prices right now and inflation, I imagine you're feeling it as well.
Yeah, we're actually, interestingly enough, we got a bunch of emails, right, from our customers. We love your product. I'm diabetic, and I can only eat your tortillas, right? Because the rest of them, I just want to have Mexican food without them. Other people, I just had the VSG surgery. I love them, but your prices are high. What can you do? Because your prices are high. We're the only company, Jerry, I believe, that have lowered our prices right now during this inflation price. And I told everyone, hey, you know what? We're just going to lower the prices, and it is it is what it is. The people on our email marketing list, we give them the best deals, the best discounts, so they can afford the product.
So how much did you lower your prices by, percentage-wise?
I would say good 20+%.
Wow. Now, by doing that, it definitely affects your operation, that it affects your cash flow, that affects your bottom line, your profit margins. I mean, why did you do that?
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, we'll make it up with volume, JR, right? We'll make it up with more volume. And we're profitable, we're making money, but it's okay. We don't have to make that much. How can I talked with my brother and I'm like, hey, listen. At the end of the day, people want our product. What if right now there's inflation, people are hurting. We have to lower our prices.
So you dropped your prices.
So I dropped my prices, even though I can keep up with the volume as it was, right? At the high price.
And now you got to produce even more product to make up for that financial loss, that hit that you're taking for a lower price. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. If it works, I don't know many companies that actually would go in and, hey, we know you're suffering, we know you're tight with money right now, so we're going to lower our prices. Wow. That's a lot to be said for you and your brother to do that. Now, when you developed the tortilla, did you bring on a nutritionist, or how did you coming up with these healthy products that taste so good?
Well, my uncle is a world-renowned food scientist, and my brother was his apprentice for many years growing up. And I would always tell him, I don't know why you're learning about this stuff. You're never going to use it. Turns out, yes, right? But besides from that, we hired the best team possible to help us with that, put that together. And it's a lot of trial and error, a lot, right? But after many, many years, we're finally able to develop the perfect tortilla. Because it has to be delicious. It doesn't matter. The macros don't matter if it's not delicious.
Right.
That's the number one thing. All of our products are delicious.
Well, I've tried your products right now in migas. I've also experimented with my air fryer and made some chalupas. Put some frijoles and queso and put them on there and put them in the air fryer till they got nice and toasty. Like I said, I'm impressed with the product. To be honest with you, Anthony, I didn't think I was going to like it. I said, okay, let me try it. I have to try the product before the podcast, but I was surprised. I mean, it's really a good product. In fact, I had one last night. I was going for a snack, and there's a little piece of fried chicken in there, and I said, well, the fried chicken's probably not healthy, but if I get one of these healthy tortillas, and
there you go.
There you go. I didn't feel as guilty.
Yeah, it's one step at a time, man. I was going to tell you, people say that's cliche, but it's made with a lot of love. I mean, we love to make tortillas. We love to have people eat our tortillas, right? And we're so passionate about making tortillas. So most companies, they have the head of whoever runs their tortilla making machine line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their specialty is volume, getting it out. We don't have that. We have a master baker and his job is to make sure that those tortillas are coming out with quality and they're perfect. And his parents made tortillas. His great grandparents made tortillas. His grandparents made tortillas. I mean, we have someone who really loves to make tortillas. That's the head, one making these products.
Well, I can see the health benefits of having these tortillas, especially in the Latino community. I mean, Latinos, Mexicanos, whatever, we love our tortillas, but we suffer from diabetes, we suffer from high blood pressure, we have, cardiovascular issues. So a healthier tortilla does make sense. So you're actually killing two birds with one stone here, and also helping the population. If more people can start switching to those tortillas, I mean, a 20-to-1 ratio. I mean, you have to eat 20-year tortillas to get the same type of what would you say for flour tortilla? The carbs, man, that's amazing. So when you're looking at the health aspect, I mean, have you looked at hospitals or other nutrition places or senior citizen homes? Are they interested in this product?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we get emails every day from people who are in phone calls that want to distribute a product, want to bring them everywhere. But really, I mean, it's just being able to keep up with the demand, right? And for that, it goes back to the one underlying problem, which is capital, right? And then you deal with the other problems, whereas the access to capital for minority and Latino companies is very. I didn't believe it until I'm dealing with it like today, right?
Welcome to minority business in the United States. It is tough. I cannot help Anthony but go back to those difficult times. I mean, I can say it's a lot of stress on you have kids?
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure, on a marriage, on kids, of working all these crazy hours, not bringing home a paycheck and chasing a dream that, could have never happened.
It looks so far. It looks so dark. But then, that's what the key about faith is, right? It's if you can see it, that's not really faith because you can see it. Yeah. Faith is believing something is going to happen.
Not knowing
when no one can see it, when it looks impossible, right? It wasn't, just think about just from the outside. If I were to tell you, what, during the pandemic, when the world is going crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm going to take a tortilla and I'm going to sell it on the internet. It's never been done before to that scale, right? And people are going to choose to buy tortillas from the internet, over like the stores and everything.
My first reaction would have been, "Estás loco, man."
Yeah, that's what I told my brother. I was like, I looked at him and I wish I could take the credit for like, hey, it was my idea, and no, but it was him. He's an avid Amazon shopper, right? And he just knew, I have this feeling that once we put our tortillas, on Amazon, on the internet, it's just going to explode, and it did, and reviews started coming in, and it's just been amazing.
Well, I'm sure during those tough times you had your share of bologna inside one of your tortillas, and that was dinner,
Sometimes it was just tortillas.
The bologna was too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what many small businesses have to. That's why I don't believe in this business bullying, right? I think something, that's why I feel like e-commerce is so important, because it gives small businesses that chance to
that level playing field. That level playing field.
Yes, it was it equals the playing field, because what we did is we built a brand, right? And the way we were able to build a brand was social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, creating funny videos, creating content that our consumers would like, and just with an iPhone. So essentially, David had his slingshot against Goliath. We had our iPhone and computer, right? And that was how we were able to
that was your slingshot.
I mean, if you think about it, we took the internet space from our billion-dollar competitors, right? We're the number one online tortilla seller, not just
in the world,
US, right? In the world, and so that's just and we can really keep growing. We just need the capital. And the beautiful part is that we don't just make healthy, low net carb tortillas. We make an amazing flour tortilla. I make an amazing corn tortilla. But if you think about it, if I couldn't get my healthy product on the shelves, do you think I was going to get my flour or corn tortillas on the shelves? No way.
Yeah.
And so I do believe that one important phrase I want to share with everyone listening is an Asian friend told me this saying, right? He said, a Chinese friend said, silent mouths don't get fed. And that just resonated with me. Silent mouths don't get fed. So, during this time, we've been screaming to the world, hey, help me, I want some of my tortillas, give me a chance. And no one would, but someone was listening out there, someone was listening. And I feel for anyone that's going through a similar situation or what, you just can't stay silent. You always have to, scream and yell and say
promote,
something.
Let people know. But at the same time, don't give up. Don't give up.
And don't give up. And and when Amazon heard our story and saw what we were going through, man, they went above and beyond for us.
Well, you are definitely an Amazon.
They did they featured us for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
They just honestly, I just couldn't believe that we worked with all these we were trying to work with all these retailers for all these years, right? And no one wanted to work with us or help us or whatnot. But as soon as we were on Amazon, they were just going above and beyond for us, and we're just so thankful, to God for sending them to us.
That's great. So you're definitely an Amazon success story.
Definitely an Amazon success story. Definitely. And people say all the time, you know what? Well, Amazon, don't they sell tortillas? Don't they? They do their own thing, but Amazon gives you the tools to build a brand, right? Because once you build a brand, I'm not worried if Amazon comes out with their own low carb tortillas because it's just we've built a brand. We've our customers love the Mr. Tortilla brand, and we love our customers, and that's what the special that's just something special for us.
Mr. Tortilla is definitely something that's brandable. At least LA tortillas, people would have called you La Tortilla.
I know.
La Tortilla. No, it's not La, it's LA. Okay, so from LA Tortillas to Mr. Tortilla, great brand. You guys have done an amazing job. Anthony, we're almost out of time here. Do you have any closing comments or thoughts you want to leave with the audience? And you know what? I would really love to. Maybe we can do another podcast down the road to talk about how you entered that e-commerce space, and maybe give some tips for some of the audience out there of how to build their own company or how to build their own brand using the internet, using some of the different social media platforms, and just how to get in there.
Absolutely. All you need is an iPhone, right, and access to social media and internet, right? And I'll share everything I learned,
and a little creativity and a good product too. Out of that.
Yeah. During the process, I would love to share that for everyone, because you know what? I wish someone would have told me earlier. I wish someone would have told me, maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years ago, right? We would have started sooner. And honestly, I mean, it's just been a blessing. And so, e-commerce, for all the small businesses out there struggling, trying to get their products in the hands of consumers, they have to go to e-commerce. And I would love to come back. Thank you so much for having me today and for inviting me to another session.
No, and thank you for offering. And I'm going to hold you to that. We'll do another podcast and we'll roll up our sleeves and get into that whole e-commerce and social media and how you made it successful and built the brand of Mr. Tortilla.
Awesome. Done? Thank you so much. And just one thing I did, my brother, the digital genius here. I make sure I give him his accolades because I couldn't have done it without him. And
Ron, sorry you couldn't make it. Sorry for calling you Roland. It's
yeah, and first and foremost, God, right? Because without God, nothing would be possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to the Latino Business Report. We're here with Anthony Alcazar. He's one of the owners of Mr. Tortilla. And if you like what you heard, please go ahead and give us a like. You can also follow us on wherever you listen to podcasts. And also visit our website, latinobusinessreport.com. We have a lot of information on what's coming up and some upcoming episodes of what's happening. And a reminder, during Hispanic Heritage Month, we're going to start dropping episodes twice a week. So we're going to be very, very busy. So, Anthony, maybe towards the end of Hispanic Heritage Month or right after, we can roll up our sleeves and get into your podcast. So what I'm going to do for you, sir, is on the episode notes, I'm going to give a link to your website so people can see all your wonderful products and go ahead and order online. Let's just say if you can't get them in the stores where you're at, order them online. The shipping is not that bad, and if you're Amazon Prime, ¿sabes qué? You don't pay for the shipping. You get it for free.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And guys, till next time, Jared Gonzalez once again with the Latino Business Report.